Lennox Lewis has no doubt the heavyweight who hit him hardest. Nobody expects me to say this. Lennox Lewis fought and beat the best of his era, losing on 2 occasions but later avenging those defeats in rematches. The Lion is well regarded in the sport, with many believing his fundamental skills, strength and power put him in the conversation as one of the best heavyweights in history. To achieve that status, Lewis mixed it with the likes of Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield and Vitaly Klitschko. His stoppage losses to Oliver McCall and Hazem Rahman, though shocking, showed vulnerabilities that made his campaign even more thrilling to witness. The Olympic gold medalist overlooked all of the above when naming the hardest hitter he faced, instead opting for Shannon Briggs. He lacked endurance, but Briggs certainly knew how to put his bodyweight behind a punch. Unfortunately for him, you need the full package when you face me, so power isn't enough. Fans may expect me to say McCall or Hazem Rahman for punching power, but I basically set myself up against both of them. Lewis was also impressed by Briggs' speed. I was surprised by Briggs' hand speed. He was able to close the gap very quickly, and that allowed him to get off the big punches. Sometimes you don't realize how quick someone is until you're in there. Lewis and Briggs engaged in a firefight in 1998 for the former's WBC world title. Lewis fought his way through extreme danger to win by TKO in the 5th. Shannon, the Cannon, is credited with the most first-round knockouts, 37, of any heavyweight in boxing history. He would go on to become champion in 2006 with a win over Sairai Liakovic. Former heavyweight champion Oliver McCall was never KO'd, but names the one man who came closest. Oliver McCall is regarded as one of the toughest heavyweights of all time. The Atomic Bull was not dropped on a single occasion throughout his 77-fight professional career, proving his durability and granite chin. He achieved his dream of becoming a world heavyweight champion back in 1994 when he knocked out the legendary Lennox Lewis in the 2nd round of their bout to capture the WBC heavyweight title, a huge heavyweight upset. McCall made one successful defense of his WBC crown against Larry Holmes the following April, but would eventually taste defeat against British legend Frank Bruno in September 1995, who beat him via unanimous decision at Wembley Stadium in London. Speaking with the Ring magazine, McCall revealed Lewis as the hardest puncher he faced and the one man who came extremely close to becoming the first fighter to knock him out in their rematch. The 3rd round of the 2nd fight with Lennox Lewis. The punch I got hit with, and I remember that punch, it was a wallop. I looked over his shoulder and saw his mama rooting for him to knock me out, and I thought of my mama not being there. When that man hit me, I was going to retaliate, and I broke down. The overhand right that hit me sent me reeling into the ropes, and as I came back I could have just held him if I hadn't broken down. I thought, wow. I just shut down. I'd pick Lennox. Though the win is recorded as a TKO win for Lewis, McCall never touched the canvas. The fight was stopped by referee Mills Lane when McCall had a mental breakdown in the ring and refused to engage. The Lion would go on to achieve undisputed status just 2 years later with a historic victory over Evander Holyfield after they fought to a stalemate in their first encounter 8 months earlier. As for McCall, he recovered and fought on. In fact, he controversially still competes to this day.